All right, so here's the deal. We have $100 and we're currently on our way to go pick up an iPhone 11 that we found on Facebook Marketplace with that $100. We're gonna be listing that phone on eBay and reselling it for a profit, and we're gonna repeat that process until we have $1,000. All profits are going to be coming from the original $100 budget that we currently have. So I've been talking a pretty big game lately about the fact that reselling used iPhones is the best side hustle to start if you are broke. So figured I'd put my money where my mouth is. We got a $100 budget. We're starting from scratch. We're turning it into $1,000 as fast as possible. Yes, I did do this last year, but I actually think the process has gotten easier and more beginner friendly. So I'm doing it again this year to show you guys how I would do it if I was starting right now. Also, it's like 8 a.m. I'm not very sharp right now. I rolled out of bed to find this phone. So apologies if I'm not 100%. Let's go pick up this phone. Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Take care. All right, so just picked up the iPhone 11. It's in decent shape overall, some minor scratches, but honestly, with a $100 budget, I couldn't be very picky, and we probably still have, I'd say, like $90 profit on this phone, which isn't bad starting with $100. Just for context, it is currently Wednesday, July 31st at 9:30 a.m. I want to try to get back to the office ASAP so that I can get this listed and hopefully sold, because we do have 2 other potential deals that we could only afford to buy today if this one sells on eBay. All right, so we actually just got the iPhone 11 listed up on eBay for $209. I believe I actually sold one earlier this week for $218.58. And that one actually sold very fast. It sold within like an hour and a half. When I was listing it, eBay said the median sold price for iPhone 11s was $242. So I think we should have a pretty quick sale at $209. As I mentioned earlier, there is some things that have made this process a little bit easier and made it a bit more beginner friendly than it was a year ago. Last year when we did this, the way that we got good deals is by checking Facebook Marketplace very frequently and then being early to when a good deal was posted, because good deals go fast. If you want to get a good deal, you message them early, you secure the deal, and then you get a phone that was priced low enough that you could actually sell it for a profit. That's typically how this works. The way we did it last year is we had to manually, very frequently, check Facebook Marketplace, which works, but not ideal. You definitely miss some phones this way because you can't be glued to Facebook all day. So what we're doing differently this time around that makes this a lot easier, that I wish I had when I was starting this business 4 years ago, is there's actually now software that essentially does all that for you. You pretty much just go ahead and set your pricing for the different phone models, and then the software is pretty much constantly checking Marketplace for you. Whenever something's posted that's a good deal in your price ranges, it sends it to you. You get that notification, and then if you're the first to message, you could get the good deal and then you go pick it up. Just for context, for the phone that we picked up this morning, it was listed at 9:51 a.m. for $110. By 8:03, I had already sent him a message asking him if it was available and making him an offer. And by 9:14 a.m., I was on his driveway texting him that I was here. Same thing goes for the other phones we're potentially picking up today. I received a notification at 6:58 p.m. and then at 6:58 p.m., literally less than a minute, I'd already sent her a message. And we had a meetup set up for potentially today at 4 p.m. And then even for the third one that we're picking up today, was listed at 5:19 p.m. By 5:20, I'd already sent her a message and we were the first ones to pick that one up as well. Again, we still have to sell this one to be able to afford any of those phones, so that could all be for nothing, but still a lot easier than the process we needed last year. I will check back with you guys once this sells. All right, so good news. Our iPhone 11 from this morning has sold, which leaves us with, I don't know if you guys could see that, $182 in order earnings. That's after fees and everything else that eBay takes. So that's $182 we actually got from the sale that we now have to buy our next phones. And just for context, it is 6:23 p.m., still July 31st. So unfortunately, we did actually have to reschedule the other 2 phones we had set up because it took a little bit longer to sell the iPhone 11 than I thought we would. But the good news is we did actually find another phone that I'm on my way to go pick up right now, which is an iPhone 12 mini with 128 gigabytes of storage that we are going to be picking up for $110. $220. Ideally, we should be able to get that listed tonight and get it sold hopefully by tomorrow. So then we could go pick up the other 2 phones from today that we had to reschedule. Not ideal. Don't like rescheduling on people, but we got a limited budget. We're working with what we got, so gotta do what you gotta do.
Thanks,
There you are. Have a good one. 12 mini, 120 bucks, secured. All right, so it has been a couple of days since the last update I filmed. Took a little break from filming this video because I became an uncle, didn't really want to pick up phones, but it's been a couple days. We're back. We sold our iPhone 12 mini a couple days ago for $250, which I believe left us with $282 in capital that we currently have available. And we're about to head out to go pick up 2 more phones. All right, so I will admit, we are technically cheating with the phones we're about to go pick up. We're getting 2 iPhone 12s that we found for $150 each, both from the same person, which is gonna be $300 total. Technically, we only have $280. So in the world of the YouTube challenge, we're cheating, but the goal of this video is to show that you could start this business with a small amount of capital. And whether we go $20 in the negative or not, I really don't think that changes what we're trying to prove here and what I'm trying to show in how accessible and easy this business is, even if you have a low amount of capital. So I apologize if you wanted me to follow the YouTube challenge to a T, but in the real world, I don't think you'd run into this issue. So I'm buying them. Sue me. Sorry for the lack of audio here. The mic wasn't turned on. And also apologies for the dirty windshield. That's my bad. Should probably get that cleaned before I start filming. But pretty much we just tested both phones real quick. They're both good to go. Gave her 300 bucks for both and we were on our way. Also, real quick, while I've got you guys, if you want to learn the exact step-by-step process that I use to flip every single phone, as well as you want access to a community of other resellers doing the exact same thing as you that can help you out when you get started, along with a 30% monthly discount on the software that I use to find all my deals. You can click the link in the description to join my community. If not, all good. Watch my free stuff here on YouTube and get rich that way. So good news, we have sold both of the iPhone 12s we bought. We sold them each for $304. Our total order earnings after eBay fees are $287.26, leaving us with $574.52. All right, quick correction. I just ran the math because that didn't really make sense to me. So eBay says our order earnings was $287.26, but I didn't realize that they include the shipping that the buyer paid in that number. So technically, we did earn $287, but that $15 needs to go and actually pay for the shipping that the buyer paid for. So our actual earnings for each device are like $271, and our current total funds are $543.12. And we've also found our next 2 pickups for today. We found 2 iPhone 11s, both from the same person. One has a cracked screen and a cracked back, and the other one is in perfect condition. We're getting them both for a total of $150. All right, so we were just on our way back from picking up both of the iPhone 11s. Well, one was actually an XR. I'll tell you guys more about that when we get back to the office. But I did quickly just want to make a note that I've been on eBay for a while. So my inventory is selling a lot faster than it would sell if you're actually a complete beginner. So just be fully transparent and set realistic expectations. If you're completely new to this, if you have a new eBay store, realistically, you're probably looking at like 3 days in between every phone. So it would take you longer to sell your stock. And you're probably looking at like 2 to 3 weeks to go from $100 to $1,000. So full transparency, it would probably take a bit longer than this. That being said, you only have to do this once and then it's easier once you've built up a store and once you've gotten some sales out of the way. So will take longer, but if you're broke, I think that's okay. I will say, based on what I've seen in my community, after like 10 sales and a couple reviews on your eBay, stock typically moves just as fast as it is moving for me, as long as you price it correctly. So it's a bit annoying, but once you get like 10 sales out of the way, eBay is a lot easier and your phones do sell a lot quicker. All right, so we just got both of the phones listed up on eBay. As I mentioned earlier, this is an iPhone XR. As you can see with the single camera, it's not an iPhone 11, which is what it was supposed to be. That's my bad. I didn't see a picture before I went, and I just assumed that they were both the same phone when he said he had 2 iPhone 11s. But when I got there, turned out to be an iPhone XR. I didn't really have it in me to negotiate with him on it, so I just paid the price that we originally agreed on, and we still got some good profit on these flips. We still got some money left over to buy some more phones. All right, so we're still waiting for the 11 and the XR we bought yesterday to sell. But for the first time, we actually have a budget left over after we purchased our phones. So we're actually on our way to go pick up another phone, which is an iPhone 12 Pro Max that we're getting for $175, which if we're lucky, I'm not sure, I haven't done the math yet, but I think this should, once it sells, get us over the $1,000 mark. If not, I think we have one more phone available today. The phone's in surprisingly good shape. It does have the minor cracks on the screen, but for 175 bucks, not a bad buy at all. All right, so it has been a couple of days since we picked up that iPhone 12 Pro Max, and there is a couple updates. So the day after we got the 12 Pro Max, I ended up picking up another iPhone 11 that we found for $100. Forgot to film it, got a screenshot right here of the listing that we ended up picking up. And we have sold all of our phones. So we sold, actually I need my phone, I need to go over the list of what we sold. So we sold our 128 gigabyte iPhone 11, we had up on eBay for $229. We sold the 12 Pro Max we bought for $175 for $429. We also sold the iPhone 11 I bought off camera for $219, as well as our $50 iPhone XR sold for $107. That one wasn't the craziest profit, but at least we made a little bit of money on that, which leaves us after eBay fees and everything else with a total of $1,012.44.